Welcome to my channel. Alright, so I'm putting together a video series pretty much all about splicing. So I'll show you a bunch of different splicing tips and tricks. My first video, I wanted to go through my own splicing kit and show you guys how to set up your own splicing kit and what I put in my kit, what I like best, to hopefully give you guys some tips. So we'll open it up here and we'll go through it. So the first thing I have in my kit are wire splicing tools. So I really like the wire splicing tools because we do a lot of our splicing with Dyneema on the 49er. I prefer these a lot better. You can make them at home. They're super cheap. You don't have to worry about losing them or breaking them. I'm always breaking them. I'm always like lending them to people and losing them. So they're super cheap, really easy to make. So I prefer these a lot more. I always keep a spare bag of rope in case I need extra rope or anything. I always keep that, so I just have like random scraps of rope in here. Here's some more I got, just random bungee. Something just went flying. Another splicing tool. I got a splicing palm or a whipping palm. So this pretty much just goes in your palm like that. And it's used whenever you're using a needle, so you're doing some whipping with the needle, and the butt end of the needle goes right in there, and it helps when you're pushing the needle through the rope. So that's really nice. I really like this. Something really handy. E-tape, always need E-tape. Knives, I got a couple different knives in here. So I got just like a regular cutting knife. I got an X-Acto knife, and then I think I have another X-Acto knife. So you can never have too many knives, and they always come in handy. Lighter, always gonna need a lighter. I really like this one. It's got like a cute little smiley face on it. Again, just some more rope scraps that I keep in here. Scissors, so just in case you're cutting rope. I mean, scissors or knives, they both work depending on what you're cutting. Whipping twine. So I keep a couple different kinds of whipping twine as well as colors. I really like the Marlowe whipping twine. It works really well. And this one is like a number 4, so they come in different thicknesses. So I like this one. It's Marlowe number 4. Sharpie in case you're marking your rope or anything. This is how I keep my needles. So I pop that open. I got my needles in here. So always need needles. The last thing that comes a lot in handy, although you don't essentially need it, is a hot knife. I don't use it too often, but when I do use it, I love it, and it works great. So last couple things, I got some Opti sail twine in here, just always need that, and then just some random blocks and stuff. So that's essentially what I keep in my kit. This means I'm ready to splice wherever I go with this kit, and I can pretty much splice anything I need to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw all this back in here, and I'm going to show you guys how you can make your own wire splicing tool. Like I said, they're really cheap, really easy to do on your own. I prefer these because, again, you can make them by yourself. You don't have to go out and buy them, and you don't have to worry about losing them or breaking them, and you can make a whole bunch of them. So I'm going to throw these back in here, and we'll show you guys how to do that. Alright, so to start off making your own wire, there's a couple things you're going to need. Really just 2 things, wire and wire cutters. So you can get this wire anywhere at like Home Depot or Canadian Tire. I don't exactly know what gauge this is, but you're going to want to make sure it's fairly malleable wire. You can get different sizes depending on the different size of rope you're going to splice. So if you're splicing a really thick rope, you're going to want a thicker wire. If you're splicing a really thin rope, you can get away with a thin wire. You can adjust the size of your wire. So if you're doing a longer berry, you can make your wire a lot longer. If you're doing a shorter berry, you can make your wire a lot shorter. So first up, what you're going to do is you're going to unravel your wire. To make a standard splicing wire, you're probably going to want to unravel about probably anywhere from 1 foot to 2 feet. So just unravel it there. And then next up, you're going to cut your wire. Like I said, you can get away from anywhere with 1 foot to 2 feet, depending on the thickness of the rope that you're splicing, as well as the length of your berry. Alright, so once you've cut your wire, like I said, anywhere from 1.5 feet to 2 feet, you're going to want to just fold your wire in two, so match up the two ends, and then you're going to come all the way down to the middle of your wire and fold it super tight. And then in order to make this middle of the wire as tight as possible, you can grab your wire cutters and just force it together here. There we go. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's like as close as possible. So once you get rope in there, you're going to want it as tight as possible. Perfect. And then you're going to go back down to the end of your wires. So where the two ends of the wire match up here, you're going to want to bend those out and essentially make a T in the end of the wire. Alright, next up, you're going to want to grab a little piece of E-tape. It doesn't need to be that long, probably just 1/4 inch. So you're just going to rip that off there. So just a little piece like that. And you're going to wrap it around the base of the T at the end of the wire to stop the two ends from falling apart, and so you want to keep them together. Alright, and there we go. So that's your splicing wire. So you got your nice tight end up here that the rope's going to go on. We'll show you guys how to do that later. And then you have your T at the end of the wire where your E-tape is, and you're keeping that nice and tight together. So you can always make sure that your wire isn't twisted here, so you can pull it apart a little bit. But again, just keeping that nice and tight up here. So there you go. I hope you guys found that useful. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos showing you, walking through different types of splices and how to do them. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next time.